these things crop up from time to time, and, they can lead to some pretty catastrophic injuries.
So what do you do if you're injured by a defective household product? Well, that's what we're going to find out today, because that's what we're going to ask the lawyer. Hi again, everybody. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com. My guest is Mississippi attorney Merrida Coxwell. Merrida, good to see you again. Thank you for making some time to help us out.
Good to see you, Rob. I always feel like I'm harried by the time we get a chance to talk, but I always enjoy our conversations.
You look great to me. So we're talking about household products and how someone might be injured. Let's start with, what are some household products that could injure people in your experience at your practice? What have you seen?
Well, some of the big ones that I've seen have been the baby cribs, where children have got their heads caught in the cribs and suffocated. I have seen the strollers that had broken mounts where they would collapse and, fall on the children, or the children would fall out. Some of the big ones that you see right now that are in the news every single day are Roundup. That's a household product. The baby powder cases with asbestos in them, that's a household product. I remember one 30 years ago where a young kid, 3 or 4 years old, sat on an old type vacuum cleaner and got one of his appendages cut off because it had an opening where they had a powerful engine rolling down there. Now that was an old case, but these things crop up from time to time, and they can lead to some pretty catastrophic injuries.
It would seem to me one of the difficulties, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, would be determining who's responsible, whether it's the designer or the manufacturer or the seller or that sort of thing. Is that something that has to be sorted out?
It is, but one of those has been eliminated. Mississippi eliminated the ability to sue the seller of the product. Most of these products are made either internationally or in these states, and the company that sells them, unless they make a major change in that product, you can't include those people in a suit. Now, what we call tort law, the right to sue an individual when you're harmed, that originally allowed you to include everybody in the chain of commerce, and the thought was that you would spread the risk out among the people that are making the product. But our legislature did away with that. So now you have to look at the manufacturer or anybody that made substantial changes to that product. They're the only ones that will be responsible for any damages.
So what's your advice? Sometimes I think somebody gets injured, whether it's a baby crib or a Instant Pot or whatever it is, and their first reaction, throw it away and, obviously get care for the injury. What's your advice to somebody if somebody in their house is injured by a product? Should they hold on to the product? What should they do?
Well, absolutely. The first and most important thing in any kind of injury case is to seek immediate medical help. In some instances, these injuries can be so bad that that's all you think about. When you can think about it, you need to preserve the product, take pictures of the product, save all of the warranty and instructional manuals of the product, and anything connected with the product. That's one of the reasons why it's best, if you can, to call around, talk to one or talk to two lawyers, and find out if they're familiar with any ongoing product liability cases. There are usually, when these products are spread all over the U.S., they're usually pending in multiple states. Take, for example, a good example would be the product liability drug cases. You have people filing civil actions over these drug cases in every state in the union and in some U.S. territories. So preserving the evidence is very, very important. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, I would imagine, especially in a defective drug case, people just go, "Oh, I don't want that in my house," and they throw it away. So that's not a good idea, you're saying?
Well, I think that in those instances, you do have evidence from your prescriptions and from the manufacturers where you can often get over that hurdle. But if you have possibly a defective crib or some other household product and you just throw it out and let the garbage men come and take it, you may have a difficult time proving that case. It's
right.
There are cases that I've had, and every lawyer has these, where a person did not get an autopsy. This might be another kind of case, but they didn't get an autopsy, so it's difficult to prove specific causation. That is, this product or this drug actually caused the death. So, preservation of the evidence is always essential.
I would imagine it's, as we talk about with automobile cases, take pictures, take way more pictures than you think you'll ever need. Take pictures of, not just the product, but the surrounding, if there was a fire or whatever. So let the attorney decide which are useful or not.
Absolutely. You can always discard them, but you can never create them if you don't have them. And I have a perfect example. I'm helping a father and his son out who were going hunting, and someone slid in the back of their car, hit the front of his car. They just completely lost control. I believe they were coming in from a night of partying, though we haven't gotten deep enough in the case. So once the father gets the son to safety, and he's had a surgery on his knee, he took a lot of photos that are very, very helpful, because the investigating agency did not take that many. And he just had after caring for his son, he had the presence of mind to say, I need to get pictures of this.
I think sometimes with defective products, Merrida, maybe people don't know the difference between just a user error or it's a product that is causing an injury that's defective. Can you help clear that up a little bit?
Yeah, that is what we say, the $64,000 question. With things like Roundup and all the Roundup or talc litigation going on now, how would you really know that you're misusing that product when you're using it according to the labels? That's a real thin line. It is certainly a defense that the company's lawyers will use against you. But, it's hard to make a blanket statement like that. The lawyer just has to get in there and see if you were using the product according to the instructions, or if they're not any instructions, that your use of the product was not a misuse of the product. Now, there are a lot of different theories that we bring product liability cases on: breach of warranty, express or implied, strict liability, negligence, failure to warn. Those are really complex for us to get into in a session like this.
Sure. But it's the fact that they are so complex means it's more important to contact an attorney if you're not sure if you have a case, if you're not sure if it was a defective product. Let someone like yourself help sort all that out.
I would, and I wouldn't stop at the first turn down. Lawyers practice law just like doctors practice medicine. And sometimes I think that might make a client's head stand on his head, or his hair stand on his head.
Right.
But we are practicing it. Great lawyers can come to different conclusions. And before there's one successful product liability case, there might be cases that were turned down multiple times. So if a client gets a turn down one time, I think it's important to continue to explore with 2, 3, 4 other lawyers before you give up on that case. There's no one lawyer, including us, that has all the answers.
And is there any cost to a client or potential client, Merrida, if they want to contact you and see if they even have a case?
No, we'll investigate these kinds of cases. We have several crash-worthiness cases against automobile manufacturers, and those cases that we're looking at right now, and we just have to spend the money with the experts to decide whether or not it's a case that we think we can bring and win.
Lots of great info as usual, Merrida. Thank you for making some time answering our questions today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. My guest has been Mississippi attorney Merrida Coxwell. If you want the very best information, or you want to be able to choose a lawyer that lawyers choose, remember, make sure to go to AskTheLawyers.com. Also, please take a sec, hit that subscribe button at the bottom of the screen so you'll know about future episodes. Thanks for watching. I'm Rob Rosenthal with Ask the Lawyers.